Hey guys, welcome back to Ironside. So we walking out to go see the cows, and I wanted to talk about this whole food shortage issue, right? Because and we've talked a lot about this, and there's a lot of channels kind of going on and on about this. But the reality is that there's some things going on that make it substantially worse than what's kind of prevalent at the stores right now. So right now we go to the stores, we go to the grocery store, and we see that the price of our food is up, like let's just say 30%. And somebody out there, if you know the exact stats on it, you can go ahead and post it, CPI numbers, shadow stat stuff. But let's just say it's 30%. So that 30%, here's the problem with that. That actually only addresses what's affecting the price right now. And what do I mean by that? We have urea shortages, we have nitrate shortages, so we can't actually make our fertilizer, and that is actually going to make this issue a lot worse because that is affecting this year's production. This year's production affects next year's costs on everything. The only thing affecting the price right now, and that 30% increase in price, is the petroleum products and the shipping issue. The fact that the farmers are struggling won't affect our prices until next year. And so that's what's so scary about this, y'all. That's what makes this so just astronomically worrisome. So what's going to happen is you're going to eventually see food riots, right? Once we see food costs reaching 40% of the average income, you're going to start seeing food riots. We already see riots. We know that DHS, they put out the bulletin the other day of talking about violence coming this fall, and it's just going to get worse as food prices get worse, especially as rents go up, guys. Once rents go up, see, mortgages, you're locked into your price, but if you got a rent, your rent's not locked in. Your landlord can raise their prices as his expenses go up, and his expenses will go, or their expenses will go up. And the reason that their expenses are going to go up is because as people demand more and more solutions, the government's going to have to increase more and more taxes, right? Which we see this all the time. Right now, I don't know if y'all are seeing this. I'm seeing municipalities all around the state trying to increase their property taxes, which makes the landlord's prices go up, which means that the landlords then have to raise their rents. For those of you that hate the greedy landlords, realize most of the landlords out there are gals that just own a couple properties, and their margins are pretty small. So because they have a mortgage on those properties too. It's not like they don't have any bills on this stuff. So for those of you that hate on the landlords, y'all are wrong. But no, don't get me wrong. There's bad landlords out there, but a lot of landlords are just guys that own a couple properties, and they just are trying to make it through too. So when we raise these prices on them, that's eventually going to trickle down to the consumer. So what should we be doing right now? Getting ready for some violence in our streets? Well, one thing, and I don't get too into the guns and stuff like that on this channel. Not that I'm against it. I just because it gets so censored here, I try to stay away from it. But getting you some body armor before that stuff is banned is always worthwhile. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but think about it. Think about it this way: how many people keep a gun in their house for the home intruder, right? The robber, whatever. Lots of people do. I mean, it's well over 60% of the population has like one gun in their house for that purpose, right? Even if not everybody conceal and carries it, which I'm a proponent of conceal and carry. We carry everywhere we go. But even if you're not a proponent of conceal and carry and you just have that one gun, well then, worst case scenario, why wouldn't you have a little bit of body armor for the same reason and keep your gun on your body armor at your nightstand, and then you hear that bump in the night and you need to get your pistol out, you just throw on the body armor. You've got your gun, your light, your ammunition, everything right there, and then you're protected if you're actually right, and if you're not right, who cares? And it's a couple $100. It's not that big a deal. I mean, I realize a couple $100 is still a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but for the safety of yourself and your family and everything, man, these horseflies are huge out here. I should see these things. They're massive. Anyways, guys, so, but body armor, so New York just basically banned it, which is effectively impossible to actually regulate because all that's going to happen is these body armor companies like AR-500, they're going to start targeting this body armor, and they're going to start targeting, no pun, they're going to start selling it to people that are in those areas as targets, and they'll put a target stamp on the front of it so that it looks like a steel plate, and then they'll sell it for the same thing. So you may not be able to get the curved body armor, who knows, that might be pushing it, but it's just a flat iron plate. You can't ban hardened steel is all it is. It's hardened to a Rockwell scale, and so you can't ban that. Like, there's no practical way to do that. So that's why I say there's no way that this New York thing is actually going to solve any problem. People that want body armor are still going to get it because, for one, they can just drive next door to the next over state and go get it because it's not regulated at all. And two, there's no evidence that stops any crimes. Like, it's just asinine, y'all. So get your body armor now before they start banning it, because that is not protected under the Second Amendment. And the fact that that's not protected under the Second Amendment means that they can ban it if the idea so strikes them to do so on a federal level. And there's really not much to stop them. So again, it wouldn't stop any crimes. We all know that, but that's not the goal anyways, and we know that too. So so get that before they ban it, before you need it. Time to start taking this stuff a little bit more serious. Now, onto the firearms. You might want to consider getting you some standard capacity magazines too, because those are getting harder and harder to find. That's going to become more of an issue. And guys, a standard capacity magazine is not that much. It's, pull this out. It's 15 round. That's a Glock 19 mag, and or a Shadow Systems MR920, depending on which one you're using, but we use the Shadow Systems. But it's a Glock 19 mag, and y'all, that holds 15 rounds, and that's the limit that they're trying to put, which means the Glock 17 now will come with that. Again, it won't stop any crimes at all. We saw that in the Columbine shooting. It was during the original magazine ban, that the federal one, and all they did was carry a bunch of extra mags on them. Didn't change anything. So we're not gonna go off into this political tangent on too much of the guns and ammo stuff. But getting those things now before they get banned or harder to get, certainly worthwhile. Definitely something that you want to have on hand and ready to go. Ammunition as well. If you don't have any guns and you're looking at getting into it, I always tell people the same thing. Like, it's the Clint Smith Thunder Ranch ideology, which I really like. And he says, if you don't have any guns, you're getting your first pistol for self-defense, buy a Glock 19 and 25 spare mags. Get you some holsters and some ammo and start training. That's really the best advice. Again, we've transitioned off of Glocks. I like Shadow Systems. So those of you that are gun guys out there, check out the Shadow Systems pistols, MR920. That's what I carry. That's what I like. That's what my wife and I shoot in competition, and they're great pistols. But anyway, so y'all go check those out if you're a gun person. If you're not a gun person, like I said, and you're just trying to get some protection and get yourself in a position that you can take care of yourself, then check that idea out by Clint Smith. He's got some great stuff over at Thunder Ranch. Don't watch with kids around. He is not family friendly on his channel, but it's entertaining anyways. I'll let y'all go with that. Like I said, get you some body armor, get you some magazines before they're gone, and get you some bulk ammo actually before they start regulating how you can do that too. So, but guys, things are going to get worse, and you may need it. Go get that home defense, what is that, the insurance if you can, if you're in an area that allows you to do that. Those are all great things to have. So really appreciate y'all watching. We'll talk to y'all later, and I guess if you haven't already done so, like and subscribe to the channel. That really does help us out quite a bit. So we'll talk to y'all later.